Hey everyone, it's Jay.
And Sean.
And we watched an episode.
Yeah, WandaVision.
That's right. We have been watching that series hardcore. Or as hardcore as they'll let us, I guess.
Yeah.
They're dangling one episode at a time, which
is really
killing me.
Out. That's right.
It's killing me. And let me tell you, this week might be the worst week of all.
Sure.
Because I feel like we learned the most.
Yeah, but we didn't go forward.
No, because we went backwards.
Yeah.
Literally. Oh boy.
We did find out a lot though.
Packed a lot of information into an episode that still felt way too short.
Agreed.
I have to say. Okay, so we are on episode 4 of WandaVision. It's called We Interrupt This Program, and boy did they.
Yeah,
they literally did. So last week was a nice 70s episode of WandaVision. She had her babies. Something knocked Monica Rambeau out of the Matrix. And so we were expecting to come this week for a nice 80s sitcom send up to I don't know what.
Facts of Life or
and
Cosby Show.
Did not get that at all. Not at all.
No.
So what we got instead was a rewind. So we're re-experiencing the first 3 episodes from the other side of the Matrix. So it actually rewinds even further than that. At the very beginning of the episode, we actually see the anti-snap?
Well, the second snap.
What do you want to call it?
Anti-snap is good.
Okay, well what they call it is the blip. The blip was Thanos' snap where like half the world disappeared.
Yep.
Just vanished. The
Into
vanished,
dust.
they call them.
Yep.
And in this episode, we see Monica Rambeau come back and everyone else.
Everyone else.
I mean, to be honest, yes, everyone else is coming back as well, but she's the one we care about.
Yeah, so this is sets us during Endgame, just before the final battle as everyone comes through the portals.
Okay. And it's chaos where she is, so you can just imagine. I mean, that's the episode, the series I would like to see on Disney Plus is The Blip. And what happened during the blip, there could be no superheroes in this whatsoever, and I'd be quite happy. Just what happened during this blip, like, obviously lives were erased, and then 5 years later, like if you came back 5 years later...
Yeah, you would have moved on.
I'm just saying.
It's okay, I don't blame you. If I turn into dust, please do move on. Don't expect that I'm coming back in 5 years.
But then what if you did? And then you did come back and then it like...
Oh yeah, it is a big deal.
Things are complicated, and that's for everyone all over the world.
It's good, fertile ground for telling some stories.
So good, and yet the MCU just glosses over it like it's not interesting.
Well, we've gone back in time a lot, so it could happen again.
I guess it could. Anyways, so we see Monica Rambeau rematerialize, I guess, after this blip. The blip has ended, and people are being returned. She has not aged these 5 years, other people have, which is also really crazy.
It is.
I would not be cool with that.
It'd have to be the other way.
Oh boy, I would not be cool with that. You could not be catching up to this.
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
Even if I hadn't moved on and I had just been keeping this chair waiting for you, I'd be like, I'm sorry, no. I can't believe I waited this whole time, aging gracefully, obviously, but still. No. Anyways, I'm surprised to learn it took Monica 3 weeks to sort of reorient herself. After being gone for 5 years, learning that her mother, Maria Rambeau, has since died. I mean, obviously, 5 years, a lot of news has to catch up with you.
Yep.
And you're probably homeless.
Yeah. Well, you would have defaulted on your mortgage payments, that's for sure.
Right, like there's so much craziness. I can't, like they must have, just like when COVID happened and the lawmakers are like making up stuff on the fly, they must have been like, well, maybe we should just leave those apartments empty. I don't know. They had to have done, I want to see this show, guys, I do. Anyways, it takes her 3 weeks to show up at S.W.O.R.D headquarters. So we learned that she has been quite high up in S.W.O.R.D. I mean, her mother seems to have basically...
started it.
Yeah. She was there since the founding. And so she is ready to hit the ground running, except for Director Hayward tells her, a lot has changed. No longer are there astronauts going up to do the S.W.O.R.D work. The missions have been grounded. They're focusing a lot on...
I think only Monica has been grounded.
No.
No, I think only Monica has been grounded.
No.
That's what he said, though.
Well, he tells her she's grounded, and so are all the Vanished. But literally, he says there are no more manned missions.
Oh, okay.
They are no longer going up there. Everything is about AI and robots and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the program has changed drastically. Yeah. So she actually gets sent on what she considers to be very inferior to her level of...
Well, she has to deal with the FBI.
Yeah,
and that's always a
persons
downer
case
for other government departments.
in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. It's always just one of those things.
Yes. So imagine her surprise when she gets there, finds Jimmy Woo, FBI man.
From
Jimmy
Ant-Man.
Woo. From Ant-Man. Randall Park is who plays him. And they are standing in front of a sign that we feel we know.
Yeah.
From WandaVision.
It's Westview.
It's Westview. Apparently they've been in New Jersey this whole time and nobody told us. But this is the town of WandaVision, except for nobody else knows about this town. It has been like wiped from everyone's memory somehow. And all of the people inside of it are also, it's like they didn't exist. It's very strange. So thank goodness this one like witness protection person, this is the only reason they're even looking into this entire missing town, which is crazy. So something big is causing this to happen. So I think it's Monica who says like this is some sort of energy field. So this is like the Matrix that I've been talking about. And she sends a drone in, disappears. Then she gets a little too close. Now, FBI guy Jimmy Woo is smart enough to stand back.
He is.
And to shout at her with with increasing alarm.
It's true.
But she gets sucked the way in.
She does.
Oh boy.
And she vanishes.
She does. Yeah. So this is what has caused, the whole setup we saw, I guess, at the end of last episode, where we saw that lots of people were set up there, lots of whatever government agencies. So S.W.O.R.D has come in. Obviously, they're not the only ones that know about it, but they are bringing in every expert from every field they think might possibly know anything about this. Which is how we get Kat Dennings on board, playing Darcy Lewis, who we know from
Thor.
Right. So it's been a while since we've seen her.
Yeah, because she was only in the first two Thors.
Mm-hmm. So she's gotten a little wiser, maybe a few more PhDs under her belt, because she is the one who notices that there are cosmic microwave background radiation. There's something emitting a broadcast signal, essentially, that she needs like vintage TV sets to pick up. And how surprising must it be to tune in and find a 50s sitcom starring two Avengers, one of whom you thought were dead?
Yeah.
What knew?
For 5 years.
For 5 years, yeah. This is pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. So, obviously, everybody's working real hard because this whole thing started with a missing person. So they work at identifying all of the characters in the TV show. And wouldn't you know it, many of them seem to actually have real world identities. We see little New Jersey driver's licenses as they successfully ID these people. So that's exciting. Like, these people exist and they're playing the characters that have populated the fictional Westview. Oh, it's complicated. It doesn't feel complicated when you're watching it, but then when you're trying to tell somebody about it, you're like, oh, geez. This is tough. So we learn a lot of stuff, like I said, in this episode. I think we're pretty confirmed that it is Wanda who is
100%. Wanda has created this and is driving it. And no one else is a willing participant. It seems they've all probably don't even understand what's happening, or most of them.
Most of them. And let's talk about that, most of them, shall we?
Sure.
Because I don't even know if we saw her at all. We know, like, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany got the week off this week. They got, I don't know, to have spa days or whatever they did. So we only saw them in, like, basically footage of the previous episodes.
Yep.
So I'm not sure whether we saw Agnes, who is the Catherine Hahn
I don't
character.
think we did, at least not in, like, new stuff.
No. Well, no, definitely not in new stuff. I don't even know if we saw her picture up on that wall
no, we did.
of people
we
getting
definitely
ID'd.
Did not. They did not ID her.
So, you know, there's this theory that Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness.
Yeah. Which
So,
fits.
I don't understand enough about this character to really, because I know she herself is a very
She's
powerful
a witch
who teaches Wanda about, you know, how to use her powers and harness her powers, her hex powers.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that is what we now call the Matrix, a hexagon. It is a hexagon energy field.
Good point.
Maybe important to remember. Any of this stuff might be important to remember. It is impossible to know which details are important. Oh my gosh. That will be a tangent coming. Hold on. Let's just get back to Agatha Harkness. Because she's had a few little things that make people think that's who it is.
Yeah.
You think it fits.
It does fit.
I'm not clear whether she is a good person or a bad person.
He's mostly good.
Mostly good.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
She's like a lot of other people, right? Where she does what she thinks is best, which people don't necessarily agree with.
Including
and so
Wanda.
superheroes fight with each other, including Wanda.
Okay. Because, you know, once you start unraveling the, I guess, Agatha Harkness plot, I think you inevitably sort of end up towards Mephisto.
Yeah.
Which is much more complicated again. I will say that there was at least one other face that I did not see on that board, and that was Dottie.
Oh,
Dottie, played by Emma Caulfield Ford. So she's kind of like the neighborhood head honcho.
The leader of the
We saw her bleed red.
Yeah.
She also heard Randall Park on the radio, and she seems to be one of few people who were able to pin. Yes.
Too, yeah.
So I'm worried that she might be Mephisto.
Well, it would make sense that someone is.
Well, I'll tell you what, it did remind me on a previous episode when she herself said, the devil's in the details. Now, I know Mephisto is not technically the devil, but when I looked at pictures, I was like, but he's not the devil,
he's a demon,
right?
Yeah. He's not like the Christian devil necessarily, because there's like multiple takes on the devil.
Right.
And he's one of them.
Okay. Well, when Dottie said, the devil's in the details, Agnes responded, that's not the only place he is. So Agnes might be knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Dottie might be knowing what's going on. Monica did not know what's going on,
she
but
did not.
I want to find out more about her because she did pose as a 1950s lady named Geraldine.
Yeah.
Like, if she got sucked into this world that she knew nothing about and immediately hit the ground running like this woman is like high level, she's good at this undercover shit.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it consciously though. I think that's part of what Wanda's doing to people.
Okay.
She's making them play these roles. Mm-hmm.
Well, she went along with it.
She did. She absolutely did.
But she also...
She broke out though.
Yeah. So she got expelled.
Yeah.
And we got to see that in a little more detail.
We did, yeah.
Which also means we got to see a little more of Scarlet Witch's powers.
Yeah.
Which is always, I think, for me, exciting to see.
Yeah.
Because I still don't understand the extent of her powers, but to understand that she is manipulating an entire town, has used all of these people, turned them into characters, and that's nothing compared to the fact that she has basically made the world forget about them and the town.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane. So we know she's doing that, we don't know why she's doing it, and I guess we don't really know if she is fully in control. Because if Mephisto's around, he might be manipulating things. He could be pulling the strings.
It's true.
And she may not even realize it.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, I've been saying since day one that this might be like a construct for her to deal with her pain. And certainly this is a nice way to live out the fantasy, the life that she never got with Vision. And boy, what did you think about that little piece of horror when we see Vision dead?
Yeah, that's a big deal because now we know that he has not miraculously come back to life except in Wanda's head.
That's right.
Well, and reality. The reality that Wanda has created.
Correct. And she knows. There's a part of her that knows. And that's starting to break through too. So she's not going to be happy about that.
Well, no, things are going to go further downhill.
Right.
Because her reality is starting to crack. Mm-hmm.
So, one thing I will say is this episode made me question whether Wanda is the villain.
Yeah.
You know, a witch's powers can go both ways. And certainly to all of the people in the town who have been like kidnapped or whatever you want to call this weird life they're living right now, they probably would not think that kindly of her.
Well, they haven't consented to it.
No. And
it's problematic.
Yeah, they don't really know what's going on. They have dropped out of life. Their loved ones no longer know they exist.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, most of them may have been vanished for the last 5 years anyway, so has anything really changed?
Yes. Yes, it has.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, it did make me think, is Wanda the villain? But I'm super worried about this Mephisto guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a bad dude.
Girl. You know, if it's Dottie. Equal opportunity, guys. And I'm for it, Marvel. Way to go. Marvel women. Woo, we love them. I'm very worried now about the twins.
Oh, yeah. They're problematic.
Well, yeah, because I read what Mephisto wants to do with them.
Yeah.
Well, that they're partially his,
that's
anyways.
right. Yep.
And then he's going to reabsorb them?
Yep.
Once they have mutant abilities?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to get worse if that's what's happening here. If that's the story that we're in.
If that's the story that we're in. I mean, I'm liking this, and I'll tell you why. Mephisto seems to have connections to Spider-Man, which has a movie coming.
Yeah, he does, because he's the one that wiped out Spider-Man and Mary Jane's marriage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Has connections to Doctor Strange.
Totally.
And we know that WandaVision has connections to Doctor Strange, and so does Spider-Man.
Yeah. You're right. That could be setting the table for 2 movies coming out.
Well,
potentially.
And not just that, because the trailer for Loki also has some Mephisto hints in it.
Okay.
So we were just talking about the MCU Phase 4. We were talking about that it didn't seem to have the overarching, you know...
A big villain like Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe it does.
Maybe it does.
Maybe he's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. And we're so distracted by all these other Doctor Dooms and whatever else. Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Is that one?
That's one.
Okay. Good job. This guy, he is the shit. He's trouble.
Yeah, he is.
I do not like the sound of this guy.
No.
And I don't like the sound, like if this is Wanda's like attempt to deal with her pain of losing Vision, what happens when she loses her kids?
Oh, she's gonna go off the deep end.
Yeah, and what does that look like, guys?
You don't want to know. No one wants to know.
No. So if this is what she can do for Vision, it did make me think, just looking ahead at the Doctor Strange movie, which is coming, that we know this movie directly ties, that this series, the WandaVision series, ties to Doctor Strange. Of course, she might show up to fight this Mephisto character because she's got such a personal vendetta against him.
Sure.
Or it is her madness. I do think that all of this trauma could cause her to have like a psychotic break. And a psychotic break in the Scarlet Witch, I'm just guessing, could have universal consequences.
It could.
I mean, I don't know all of her powers, but just seeing what she has done with this scenario, I'm worried.
Oh yeah, she can affect, as you said, the entire universe if she
or the multiverse of madness.
The multiverse even.
Is she the one that broke it? We don't know.
Not yet.
But we are getting closer and closer. With every episode, we are taking steps.
That's true.
So like you said, we didn't really move forward, but we have a better understanding of everything we've seen. All of those Easter eggs are paying off. We've been speculating. We have theories. Now we're starting to confirm some things. Of course, 10 more questions pop up for every answer. But this is getting more and more deeply layered.
Yes, it is.
So I know some people were like iffy about the first 3 episodes. They're weird. We don't know what's going on. Definitely this episode makes it all worthwhile. I loved the first 3 episodes, so I'm not in that camp. But this episode definitely ties it all together. And I think going forward, I don't know if I'm prepared, to be honest.
I don't think you are.
Can you be? Like, this is major stuff.
Anything can happen.
It seemed so guileless, you know, when you tricked me with your 1950s sitcom and she's wearing a cutesy apron, and then all of this stuff is being unleashed.
Yep. It's traumatic.
Oh, I just do not know what to make of it all.
No one does.
No one does. Oh, gosh. So, how did you enjoy the
I did enjoy it. I thought it was what I was looking for, which was more information. Mm-hmm. And so, as you said, we didn't get information to move the story forward, but we got a lot of detail about what's happened till now. And I think it's helpful, and it did tie together.
Mm-hmm. And I found it a little shocking to, like, have rewound to the, you know, rematerialization of all of these people. Of course, this is the very recent aftermath of Endgame that we're dealing with.
Absolutely.
And I kind of forget that sometimes, but we are in there, like, the immediate aftermath of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get bogged down in all of these crazy mysteries, but that whole world is really recombining. And where are the other superheroes? What are they up to?
Well, they're probably resting from their big battle.
I guess they are. They're having Tony's funeral.
Yes, that's true.
Oh boy. I guess Wanda wasn't at it? No, she was, wasn't she?
She was at the battle.
Okay, so this is...
Absolutely.
No, I meant the funeral.
Oh. Yeah, she was at the funeral.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I mean, she kind of got short shrift because her guy died in the other one.
Yeah. So he didn't get memorialized here.
Oh, forget about him.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, but she brought him back from the dead for WandaVision.
Yep.
Startling to see him as a corpse.
It is, yeah.
Because he's not a person.
No.
Startling. My goodness. Oh, there's so much to interpret.
Yeah.
You really need like a special decoder ring or something for this show, I feel.
You do.
Missed opportunity, guys. Disney, what were you thinking? You're usually better at this. Merchandising, okay? So we interrupted this program to catch us up, to show us what is going on outside the bubble. And I appreciate that because we were like, what the hell? Now we're still like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But in a different way.
That's right.
That's progress, right?
It is progress.
Whew, okay. So we're 4 episodes in, we've got 5 left. That seems like not a lot of episodes to deal with all of this stuff that we haven't identified all of the problems.
No, it's still a full movie's worth.
Oh, you're right. Can we do it?
Yes,
we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Although obviously it's not going to wrap everything up in a neat little bow.
No, it's not. That's the thing. And I mean, that's true of even a lot of the movies. A Thanos villain you don't defeat in one movie. And Mephisto, I think, if Mephisto is there, and we don't know this, let me totally underline that. But something is.
Yeah, but we do know in the comics, Mephisto, as you said, was very invested in Wanda's kids. And she's got kids on this show now.
Yes. So it just feels like we're in this, and the witch, Agatha, it feels like we're in that storyline. Yeah. So, who knows? Who knows what it all means, but I cannot wait to find out.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good day. Bye.